Greetings and welcome to another exciting edition of Poet the Poet. I'm Robert Dunn and I get the host because I have the seniority and all that. And we have two fascinating poets with us today in the person of Alexandra Portal and in the other person of David Michael Nixon. But before we get on to our scheduled guests, I want to introduce a special surprise guest. This man has great sentimental meaning to me. He is the man who taught me everything that I ever learned about poetry, and his name is Professor Emmanuel Henry. Professor Henry Emmanuel, and here he is. Professor, it's good to have you on the show. Well, I'm glad somebody feels that way. We've been working very hard to maintain your academic reputation, and what do you mean you don't like what I'm writing lately? Well, in that case, get out. All right, now, we are coming to you from the International Books and Cafe, and we're grateful to Gerard Hamon for letting us come in and make public spectacles of ourselves, even the professor down there. It's on LaGuardia Place. In the NYU area, you can get all kinds of books in all kinds of languages and a lot of good snacks, too. And now, a true repast for the mind. We get to our poets, and we have Alexandra Portal. Alex, welcome to the show. Alexandra has, I've lost my the complete bio here, but as I recall, you have traveled the world either physically or metaphysically, and you still want to climb Mount Fuji or Mount Kisco, whichever comes first. And let's see, you try to include a lot of philosophy, personal and otherwise, into your poetry, and let's get into that, shall we? Give us a little taste.
Okay. Just for this first one, I wrote this for a man I had a crush on, and so poetry has a way of bringing out a certain sort of sublimation of feelings for me. In barefoot innocence and in blissful touch, I own your powers. Sentimental, youthful eros, passion's beatific game. Naked truth, a body's dry tryst with death, sunders in two. Yet wet lips caress your teasing postures, swarming with pouty defiance. But piquant moves, shoeless, in a ballroom of my dreams. Still intrinsic, spirited debate and influence. Your princely decor arouses my wanton dance. Light exposure senses wicked design. Honest pose presumes wings. Skin-deep impressions fuse a sexy walk with barefoot tomboy play. Time once rolled gently, wrapped perpetually in your charms. And for a philosophical escape, I'll read this one. Astral Traveler. Long begone the times of astral delight, of sunny days and starry nights, inveterate moons and twilight dreams. Heaven moved with unearthly leisure, and planets streaked a path of universal light. In the dark beyond, full of black holes and dust, I sought answers. Wondrous imaging projects a celestial sphere of trust and prestige. Ancient molds pursue a lively art and settle questions. On a cold sea, eternity mingles with midnight lights. As I gaze on an open cosmos, magically wide and knowing me, I'm an aristocrat at last.
The only time I have a date like that is when the woman pays. Oh, well, what inspires these goodies?
Well, I suppose I've been defined as New Age, which is kind of a post-late 60s, 70s sort of escape trip. And that sort of functions as a way of dramatizing kind of like inner worlds for me, I guess. I don't know the other way to put it.
Did it start back in Hunter College?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, I always kind of like stayed non-committal and uninterested really in a specific area, and I always really just like writing itself. And
It's so nice to have a poet on the show who can be defined, because most of the time the ones who come on are more diagnosed than anything else. But I'll get into trouble for that. So how about another poem?
okay. Greek memory. The joys of Alexander fragment and part the seas of Hellenic idols as I look back on a story of peaks and conquests, of winnings and tragedies, starry feasts and simple loves. I walk the paths of gods and men. Infinite wisdom turns to the sea in a rage of Olympian glory. Sea nymphs ply their lusty tales with Jove and Cupid. Essential mortals fight fierce wills and lose. Random thoughts travel the centuries of desire, end a land of fleece and age. White windmills graze my head, and stone-washed steps lead to surface delights. Proud graces move with rousing music, and fiery men, passions just newly tried. For a rake's progress still brings armloads of strangers. Faith chooses sides, and history shines on all my destinies.
Yes, very stylish. Was that written on one of your world travels, or did you have to wait till you get home and recall it in tranquility?
Yeah, no, it's definitely, when I travel, which I do, I adore travel. I think it's one of the great experiences one can get through in life and go towards. And no, I usually sort of wait to have all the impressions come back to me because it's already taken place in the unconscious then. That's how I feel.
Which makes it easier to get it past customs, I take it.
Right. That's it, yeah.
I think we're traveling towards another poem, so
Okay.
would you oblige?
Okay. You of the sudden sands, and in view the starry night overturns the trembling ambitions, once fortuned in awakening dreams. I favor the husk and wonder at the core, yet more the idols beckon approval. Enchanted islands weave in reckoned wills, open ways sense firm principles. Dining in oyster settlements reasons the origins. You appear out of an ocean's grace, muscular in the sixth sense, natural in an apple's farce, drowsily irksome, embarking on reefs of clay. Your drawn arches, moon advance the sands of upheaval, swept away far and long ago.
Where was this inspired?
Oh, I was just daydreaming one day, and I think perhaps it was another love affair that was aborted, and it just sort of like sprouted this poem.
I was hoping for one of the world's famous beaches, actually.
Yeah.
And that one, Rockaway, perhaps, or
Rockaway, you got it.
Brighton.
Excellent beach, yes.
Either Brooklyn or England or something like that. Where do you see yourself in your poetic future?
Well, I hope to publish at least 4 volumes of verse somewhere in my lifetime. I already envision the titles, but we'll see.
A trilogy and a spare?
Nah, something like that, yeah.
All right. Speaking of which, can you spare us another poem?
Yeah. A month's sudden shelling. 1 month, one breathless month, and sunstream Sundays bloomed in flowery designs. A will-o'-the-wisp flew on birds' wings. I sought a new dream. Professed style awakened sleepy ponds, protected by seasons of harnessed instincts. An undressed moon, a hidden pagoda, a lover's dance, and hills of grass tied a lap of hair in ribbons of May. And one more on that note, because it's the hot season of the year.
Yes.
Dandelion seizure. The air is light and slender to touch, the feel of relations more magic than real. I am seized by the season of dandelions. I submit. Render the treasures of nature and fill the cups of pleasure for one and all. Flowering deeds overflow into nestled songs of birds that charm and bewilder the logic of those whose prisms see only lines lying straight. Flutter the breeze so silent, solve the mysteries brilliant, yet far and away the open fields weaning the newborn.
They're edible, you know. Dandelions. David has some experience with that.
Oh, yes.
We'll get to that a little later. Have you got any advice for the aspiring poets in the audience? We got to get the Alexandra slant on that.
Oh, I think that especially just pay attention to everything that inspires you.
Okay, I think we'd like to pay attention to one more poem.
Okay, next.
A short one.
Okay.
Something pithy.
Well, I like this one because it's in a French atmosphere, and I do adore the French. French dreaming in the summertime. Picture-perfect sense arouses arch imagery. Gray Parisian skies foam in wanderlust drama. Ardent hopes lie tangled in love, musing. Collections of myth usurp prudent wiles, all arguably fractured half-truths bred. Sections of a city mark for glory peer into an ambient future, perspectives unknown to temperate advisors. Golden dawns angle to youthful perversions, sharp decision-making by evening's length. A cathedral's gropings by a bend in the river startle the outsider's eye as wicked legs march in exultant defiance, storming the cafes, ruddy from late-won battle.
Well, thank you, Alexandra. Time's wicked legs are marching on, and we'll have to thank you for coming on, Poet to Poet, Alexandra Portal. We'll be back in a moment with the inimitable David Michael Nixon. And don't go away, because that's going to be a real adventure.